Right. So what you're going to discuss today is project scope management. Last week we have discussed project integration management knowledge area, and we have found out that there's a document called project charter. Almost all of you had project charters with you. That's good. So I expect you to have the project charter, keep it with you. So yeah, last week we have discussed project integration management. Project integration management, where we discussed the compilation or combination of the things. Compilation of combination of all the other knowledge areas and the documentation that we prepare. So today we are going to discuss project scope management, how to determine the scope of the project. Includes the processes required to ensure that the project includes all the work and includes all the work and only the work required. Try to understand this. What exactly are you going to do in the project? What exactly are you going to do? Let's say for a house, are you going to complete with finishes? Are you going to tile the building? The your part. Are you supposed to do the landscaping work or not? Includes all the works required and only the works required. It should include each and everything that you're going to do, not something that you are not supposed to do as per the contract. So that's what we call determining the scope of the project. They should be measurable. They should be measurable. By the end of the project, we should be able to look back and tell, okay, we have achieved this or not. As far as your projects are concerned, the main thing is preparing the scope. Are you going to prepare structural drawings for designs? Are you going to prepare structural drawings, architectural drawings, everything, or is it just the layout design? So you know the boundaries, you know the things that you need to know at the very start of the project. That's what we mean by project scope management. There are five processes. There are five processes. I'm not going to discuss what processes are, what process groups are, what phases are, because we have discussed. Right. There are five processes in this process, the knowledge area. First thing is scope management. As far as a project is concerned, basically you determine what to do in a project in order to say that the project has completed successfully. That's what we mean by project scope management. There are five processes. First thing is collect requirements. You have to collect requirements from the sponsors, from the clients, from the authorities, and other stakeholders. You have to collect requirements from people. With these requirements, you should be able to define the scope. Scope is okay, basically with to satisfy requirements of all the people, what you need to do and what you should avoid, defining scope. Thereafter, you have to break down the scope. You have to decompose the scope. We have discussed this when you're doing a MS project, and prepare a WBS, work breakdown structure. You're going to do that for your project today, so I'm not going into detail here. Then, when the project goes on, we need to check whether really the project achieves what you really need. Then, if there are changes, we have to send it to the clients or consultants, and you have to get it, and you have to control the scope, you have to modify the scope, you have to fine tune the scope until the project ends. So that's basically the process that you need to follow in this knowledge area. First thing, collect requirements. This has to be done as initially as possible. If it is done after customer receive the product, the cost is proven to be 68 times more. Initially, if you have identified requirements carefully, let's say your cost is 100. Later, after client complains and you have to modify, it has to be 6,800, or 100 multiplies by 68 times. This has to be done in the planning process itself, not during the construction, not after the construction. So this has to be done during the planning phase itself. Okay. All the requirements of the stakeholders. So first thing, we have to identify stakeholders, which we will discuss later, and we need to identify their requirements. And we need to make sure the objective of project management is to make sure that each stakeholder is happy. So we identify requirements and put it to the scope. That's what you mean. So out of the 5 processes, here we have the first, collect requirements. So the inputs are project charter, which we have discussed in defining the scope, in collecting the requirements. So you have to have the project charter. So there you have the high level objectives, high level milestones, achievements, risks, everything is there in the project charter. And you have to, the stakeholder register we'll discuss later. You have to make sure that stakeholders are identified. We will discuss it. It's not the order in which that we have to do the work that we're discussing. It's knowledge area by knowledge area. So stakeholder register and how to prepare and what to prepare, we will discuss in a later knowledge area. So how to collect requirements? You have to conduct interviews. You have to do focus group studies. You have to workshops, group creative techniques that we will discuss later, questionnaires, decision making techniques. We will discuss all this later. Observations and maybe develop prototypes if it's, let's say, production related thing. So you do a prototype and check whether exactly that is what you need. So output out of that, so requirement documentation now. So you have to interview people, you have to study people, then you have to collect everything together. You have to maybe prepare questionnaires. You have to ask people, right? You don't have time to do each of these things. Somehow you should be able to develop a requirement documentation and requirement traceability matrix, which we will not discuss here, but that it's there in the book, requirement management plan. It's there in the reference documents that I have provided you. So after collecting requirements, we need to define the scope. Scope should be specific. When you tell the contractor, when you tell the people that you work with, you have to be very specific and it should be measurable by the end of the project. Now think of this with your final year project that you all know. Should be agreed upon. The supervisor should be happy, the panel should be happy, and it should be realistic and it should be time bound. That obviously is there. Proposal should be prepared by this Friday, let's say. So by Saturday or maybe next Monday, we will have proposal presented. It's time bound. Then for the project, anyway, if you need to go to the convocation, you have to submit your measurable outputs in a significant manner to the department. Otherwise, you will not go for the convocation. These are the 5 characteristics of a scope statement. When you are defining your scope, you should identify, okay, whether it is specific, whether it says exactly what it needs to be said, whether it is measurable, whether the supervisor and the panel members and the university is happy with you, and whether it is realistic. Can you do that within the given time? Right? So the thing is, when a topic is given, you can't wait 6 months and then all of a sudden start and achieve 1 year work. That's also something that you have to understand. So this is an example for a scope statement. There are these 5. Right? Try to read this and check whether this is specific, measurable, agreed upon. Of course, everybody, the sponsors, the clients, and the developers should be happy with that. And realistic, time bound. These things are outside the scope of the lecture that we have to do with the real life conditions. But check whether these are specific, the statement given is specific and measurable. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Specific, is it specific? A time bound, the time is there. The time is there. So specific, is it specific and is it measurable? Just read and try to understand this. University X will upgrade the library, dormitories, offices, and then all campus buildings to whatever this technology. Starting at the north side of the campus with the library. This project will facilitate productivity via computer facility of staff, faculty, staff, and students. So it has to be, it is very measurable, right? If somebody doesn't have internet, or if somebody is having an issue in facility, so it's not measurable. So it's really measurable. Whether it is specific, yes, library, dormitories, offices with this technology, very specific with the library. So the work plan is also given. So this is specific, measurable, and time bound, agreed between the developer and the client. It should be happen. Realistic, whether it is that has come with a discussion. Okay, right. So in defining scope, the inputs of project charter we know, requirement documentation. That's an output of the previous process, organizational process assets that we have discussed last time. The employees' previous experience, pretty much previous experiences of the organization. Okay. Expert judgment, that you know whether it is time or realistic, that has to be determined by experienced people. Product analysis, after the product, alternatives identification. So in defining scope, whether there are other technologies available that are cheaper or that are maybe effective than this. Scope statement is something that we have to prepare, right? For your projects, I expect you to prepare the project scope statement. It's a sentence like this. It's a sentence like this, where there may be the number of stories. It has to be specific. It should be able to be measured, and it should be time bound. Once the contractor finishes this thing, they should be able to say that, okay, the objectives of the project have been achieved. So I'll divide you into groups now. You need to write something like this. Group D, Hashan, can you read out or share your screen if you have typed? Right. Uh, it's good. There are some fine tunings to be done. We have to be specific for vehicle park for how many vehicles, right? At least better if it's a new construction, mention the square footage or number of stories, right? Those kind of things to check whether, right? It should be measurable and specific, right? So I'll move on. Then these things should be able to be said. Project exclusions, if there's something exactly that you're not supposed to do, the constraints, acceptance criteria, those things have to be there. Then WBS, as you already know, WBS is something like this. So you have the scope. Having the scope at hand, we should be able to create a work breakdown structure like this. Work breakdown structure. This is for a web application. So if you remember, these are called summary activities, and this lowest level is we call activities. Of these, cost should be known. Activities, the cost should be known. These are BOQ items. Activities should be BOQ items. So you have your project. You can divide, if it's a building, you can divide into main several segments, maybe substructure and superstructure. Substructure you may be able to develop, divide into maybe sections of foundations, the types of foundations, maybe, I don't know. Superstructure, if you go for maybe walls. Now, this structure is there in the BOQ. If it is floor wise, ground floor, you have columns, concreting, those things. Right. So lowest level, addition of this lowest level should give us the BOQ values. The cost of addition of cost of these lowest level items can, if you have the BOQ, right, you have this B111, something like that. The lowest level should be activities. So B is your summary activity. B1, you have different activity like that. If you have a BOQ, that structure is there normally. So for your project, I expect you to prepare this work breakdown structure now. If you have the BOQ, just take it and prepare it in a structure like this. Which is what we need, right? For later, we are going to develop the MS project file and the time plans and cost plans and everything. Can somebody share BOQ? Right. Now, what we need is, for your building, there are main set of main activities. For this case, excavation and earthwork is a major thing, right? LD is a major item, right? And LD1 is a summary item in that. Preparation of soil, general excavation. So I need a structure like that. Within the general structure, general excavation, you have some other activities, prepare that structure accordingly. I need BOQ to be drawn to a structure like that, like separating different activities. WBS is not something separate from BOQ. WBS is the structure of the BOQ itself for these kind of projects. It's easier to manage like that. Can you draw it like that? So LD1 is the first activity under excavation and earthwork. Right? Can somebody else share work breakdown structure, prepare according to that structure? It's the structure of the BOQ. It's easier to manage like that because we are going to cost using MS project as well. Because if this and that are different, things are not working. Can you share your work breakdown structure? Okay. Try to prepare it in a vertical structure. You may have to have a long page, big page, but try to prepare that as that order. This is fine. If that is according to your BOQ, that is correct, right? Okay. That's fine. If that is according to your BOQ, that's okay, right? What the sites normally do it, they separate the work breakdown structure from the BOQ and develop a separate thing. It's just for showing off. It's not what we need. It's the same structure as it should be in the BOQ, and the costing should be done as per that structure. So the lowest level, of course, is costable because it's a BOQ item. Activities, these are BOQ items, or we call them work packages. Yeah, I wanted to prepare that work breakdown structure and keep it with yourselves. And when I ask you to submit, you are expected to submit. The thing is, if I give you time during the class to do that, I don't expect you to do something after the lecture. I mean, immediately after the lecture is fine, but I may ask you to submit it. Maybe when I say today, should be able to submit them tomorrow because I'm giving you time during the class, and I'm explaining and I'm discussing the issues that you all are having. So I'm expecting you to do this within the class. If you have issues, just ask me within the class itself. So by now you should have the project charter with you, the scope statement with you, and the work breakdown structure with you. This is a part of the planning process. Huh? It should be done in the planning. This is done in the planning process. So BOQ is a plan. It's an estimated budget. So it's a plan. This is done in the planning process. This is a part of the plan. Right? So this technique, after having the scope, dividing that into small positions, it's what we call decomposing. This is the process of creating the WPS. That's why the lowest level should be a BOQ item where we can cost. Right? So WBS dictionary is basically the explanation of the items if needed. Scope baseline. So exactly what you need to do. Baseline, the concept of baseline you have discussed with MS project. We will discuss it in time planning in the next section, and project documents updates with that. So today's outcomes I expect in the planning process. Today's outcomes are the scope statement and the work breakdown structure. Last week's output was the project charter. So by now you should have the project charter, work breakdown, sorry, the scope statement and work breakdown structure with you. Keep them with you for the time being. Then this is when the project is going on. Verification of scope, project management plan, once it is developed, requirement documentation, it's an output of a previous plan. So these are things that we have to do inspection. When the project goes on, when we inspect things, if there are issues, if there are scope changes, if the whether the scope goes according to the plan, that's what you call verifying scope. Finally, it's controlling scope. If there are differences in the variance is the difference between the plan and the actual. Here, as far as the scope is concerned, is there a difference in the plan and the actual thing that we do? That's what we measure. So it work performance measurements, we quantify. The techniques we have discussed last time, and we will discuss the next section as well. Organizational process as a updates, your experiences, the templates, and the things that we develop. Change requests, project management plan updates. So if the scope is going to be fine-tuned or changed, the project management plan has to be updated, and project documents have to be updated. Right? So this you can do leisurely. This so that you have to think and answer. So that's all I'm going to do today. It's enough for today. If you have issues, we can discuss. Okay. See you then. Bye.